Good morning, everybody. This is Squirrel Man, your host. I'm here with my fellow host, Eddie, and we have a special guest today. His name is Freddy. He is a religiously devout individual that I've had the pleasure of meeting. I've known Freddy for a few years now. Not going to get into detail how we met, but yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Freddy say some opening remarks, and then we'll kick it off to questions.
Name's Freddy. I'm just a dude. Go ahead.
Sounds legit. Sounds legit. I thought you were a woman for a second. But hey, man. One thing is, what? I'm just gonna open up straight up like that, and y'all let me know. So, what are your thoughts on both of you actually? What are your thoughts on pornography? I'm not saying like, oh yeah, it's good, or I like it, and this is kind of the core category I like. I'm talking about like thoughts on your psychological, mental, and sexual ways. Like, do you think it affects you in any sort of way? Like, because I know a lot of times like you'll be watching like a porno and be like, God damn, like I will never be fucking like this man, or I won't ever be able to please a woman. So you start mentally demoralizing yourself and holding yourself to a lower standard than what it's supposed to be.
I think pornography is more or less a social construct. I mean, it's built in a way that's. I mean, that's the way you're gonna see the world if you like devote yourself to pornography and you start comparing relationships and your sexual relationships to these things. So I just think it's a false sense of reality.
I 100% agree. I think that pornography is a very questionable profession because of the moral implications and emotional baggage that can come with both watching and participating in that act. I think that the younger you are in your exposure to pornography, the more detrimental to your sexual development through your adulthood. I'll give a personal example. When I was young and I was exposed to pornography, when I first saw that, I automatically assumed, like most people would, that is how having sex with a woman goes, with someone that you care about and love and want a future with. But as it turns out, every individual is different. I know people are going to come at me with there's different pornography categories. Yes, I agree. Yeah. However, 100% on that, everyone is different. There are different categories of pornography, but I still don't think that what you see on the screen is what you should base your sexuality off of at all. I think you know what you're into, if you're into any kinks or anything like that, and what you and your partner agree is fun and fulfilling and meaningful to both of you in the bedroom is going to be truly subjective, and it might evolve. It might even change throughout the course of your lives. Eddie?
I mean, you're talking about over here about partners now. What are your thoughts on watching pornography together? I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching pornography. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I don't watch it because obviously we all do, and whatever we do with ourselves, fucking who cares? But talking about like your partner, like, do you think it is alright to be watching pornography with your partner every once in a while? Is it okay to just do it, or is it okay not to do it? What are your thoughts on it? Because in my mind, I feel like it is not a right thing. You both of you are not respecting your relationship. You are either fantasizing about another person, or you are no longer sexually attracted to this person. Your arousal to them is not there anymore. So you need something to help out yourself. And you can't say like, oh, I mean, there's Viagra, there's toys. That's a whole different kind of thing. But I'm talking about your arousal to your partner is not there anymore. That you need some sort of image, some sort of thing to think you have to perform a certain way.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, if you're having relationships with your partner and you guys you need to pop up a video, are you really having those emotional value to the video, or are you having emotional value to your partner? Like, that's a very important thing.
To add to that, 100%. If you need a video to get the mood right and to get it started, then you are unfortunately and most likely desensitized to your partner. I'm not saying that you don't love your partner. Don't misinterpret that. But what I am saying is that your arousal to your partner can wither away, and that's why, like, I think most counselors or people that specialize in this kind of thing will agree that every time you plan to have a special night with your partner, you guys need to make time for it. You need to make time for each other, and you need to put the effort into keeping that little spark, that flame alive in the relationship, because sex is a very vital part about most, loving relationships.
Just for a quick fact right here, like we're not saying you're in the wrong, or we're not saying none of us are in the wrong. This is just a personal opinion of what we think. We're not saying nobody's right. We're not saying nobody's wrong. I mean, you do you, but this is just our opinions.
I mean, personally, I have seen, watched porn with a partner. I'm no longer with that person. I'm not saying that's the reason. What I am saying is porn can become an issue if. So, scientifically proven, and I can't really cite a source on the spot, but I do know that observing somebody else participating in the sexual activity will stimulate arousal in any other adult that is, sexually competent. So, it can be bad more than it can be good, I think. But, sexual maturity and like intellectual maturity is a big factor if you and your partner can handle this.
Now, as for partners, what makes you think? Hold on, we'll cut
All right,
this
let
part
me,
out.
let me toss in this question. How would you feel if you're having relations with your partner and then you find out that your partner had to be looking at a video right before you got into relations with that person or with yourself?
Wait, what was the
Like,
question?
how would you feel if you're about to have intercourse with your partner and you figure out that right before you guys engage in intercourse that your partner had to watch a video to get ready? How would you feel with that? Just wanted to toss in that question.
I would feel very curious. Like, what were you watching? Is one of my. That's what I'd want to know. Like, what were you watching?
Man's like, hey, why didn't you include me in the fucking party? Like, we both would have watched some fucking kinky dinky shit, fucking interracial shit. I don't know, man. I feel more of maybe a sort of insecurity will start kicking in. Like, damn,
Yeah.
like what is it that you had to watch that I don't have? Is it because I'm not this, I'm not that? So I don't know. Maybe because I've never experienced the whole fucking watch porno with another partner, because they're always like, oh, that's gross. But yet, fucking, I guess they don't masturbate. I don't know, man. For a man, it's more acceptable to do something like that. But for a woman, because you gotta remember too, like a woman does something that a man does, and the man's like, how could she? You know what I mean? Or something you'll be like, oh damn, it's fine. But I don't know how to. I don't know how
It's a lot more
exactly say
socially
these words.
acceptable for
It's
men.
more socially
Yeah.
acceptable for men to do it, but for a woman to do it, like fuck, like it's okay for you to be hoeing around, but once a woman does it, it's like, damn, she's a fucking slut, man. I don't want to be with a damn fucking slut. And let's say she's only had 2 partners in her whole life, but you've had multiple, and it's like, damn, this woman's a fucking whore. It's more socially acceptable, and then a lot of it has to do with the fact that talking about acceptance is a lot of time these women and men don't know how to truly means to be truly lonely. And I'm not talking about lonely like, oh, you don't have a partner, you don't have this, or just be living alone. No, like as in truly they don't know what it means to live life by themselves, not have somebody there for them, because a lot of times, I'm not bashing on women, but they will literally get a relationship, and they will literally within a couple of months they will be with somebody else. So they really don't know how it means to be alone. And this goes out for everybody, that whether they have kids or they don't, because they'll be like, well, I have kids, I'm independent, I don't, your words don't affect me, whatever, but do you truly know how to be alone? Because I know how it feels to be with somebody and then not be with somebody and be alone, and what it truly means to be alone with my thoughts, alone with my head. And there's a difference between being alone and loneliness.
So, to add to this, right, I'm going to go back a little bit to the whole what is societally socially acceptable behavior in men and women, right? I don't know that it's right for men to get away with hoeing around more than women. I do agree, though, that it is easily observed. Like, you can totally see it, like, clear as day that men can get away with sleeping with countless chicks, and nobody will really like put much significance to it. Like, yes, people will hype it up like they're friends, because as a fellow male, that's like seen as a bro move. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, good shit. Like,
Yeah, you get praise for it, man. It's a good thing.
you lay pipe, bro. Like, we strive to be like you is like a common like theme with someone that can get women. But girls nowadays, I don't think girls are shaming other girls as much as they used to be like 50 years ago about doing the same thing, because they're I feel like I'm not saying the feminist movement is doing it solely, but women all around the world are starting to normalize lewd and sexual behavior being out in the open, like going out like you know what I mean, like doing like very sexual shit out and about and shit like that, and having it out in the air. Like, I mean, you have platforms like Tinder and OnlyFans that are like used to be probably taboo in like early 2000s, the concept of those things. But today Tinder and Bumble and OnlyFans and those cam show things where like you pay to see a chick strip and get naked and like pleasure yourself and shit like that. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That's not as like alien as other things. Like, I can't even think of something else that's as alien that used to be so taboo back in the day that is like not even in the equation.
Bro, speak about Tinder and all these kind of dating things. Have you really ever met anybody say that, hey, I met my significant other through a dating app?
Absolutely not.
Do you think it is acceptable in your mind that it is okay to really find that one person through a dating app?
I'm gonna quickly list the no. I'm gonna let Freddy give his opinion before I do, because I don't want to influence Freddy.
What was this question?
My question was, have you ever met anybody that has, or have you personally met anybody that is the love of your life or your wife or husband, whatever, through a dating app, and they are actually happy, and it doesn't cross your mind
I've heard of
damn,
people,
I met
but I
people.
can't really put an actual name to it.
I mean, just don't tell me eHarmony or Christian's Mirror. I think I'm talking about
do people actually go on these apps to try and find someone serious, or they're just going on these apps to mess around? Because I've never met anyone who actually wants to get something serious out of it.
It's funny you bring that up, because the psychology of these apps, right? It's been already reviewed and studied. I've briefly heard this in some research I've done. Those apps are known to be hookup apps. They're known to be apps where you swipe right, aka you agree to match with this person based on their appearance and a small bio. So when you're swiping right as a man, what's going through your head is most likely the following: is this person attractive to me? Can I see myself engaging in intercourse with this person? And then you're also, maybe if you're at a deeper level, you're like, okay, does this person have morals or values or any ideas that are similar to mine? Like, would we genuinely match if we met in person? And with that in mind, to the question that Eddie asked, do I think it is a good or acceptable or even a successful way to meet the love of your life? No, I don't. Because statistically speaking, you're not on there to meet love. You're in there to, quote unquote, hook up. So, no.
If it works, man. Good on them. But
if it works, it works. But I definitely think it's ill-intentioned.
Yeah.
What a coincidence! I mean, great, you met the love of your life on a hookup app. But and if anybody gets triggered that I'm saying that it's a hookup app, get real. Like wake the fuck up, because it is. It definitely is.
Now, this question's for you, Scoreman, since you brought this to my head right now, talking about like hookups and all that kind of stuff. Now, have you ever been in a serious relationship where you actually took the woman serious and not as a fuck thing, as a fuck toy?
Absolutely, man. Although it is important for me to start this explanation with some of the relationships I've had started as a hookup. Uh-huh. It just so happens that either we weren't in communication, that it was just going to be one and done, or we both mutually fell victim to the whole catch feelings thing. So it's important to state that with that, I have met people on Tinder and and participated in acts that shall not be mentioned. But what was your question again?
Yeah, this man just went just started dig deep.
I was starting to go into a deep hole.
I just awoke some feelings, and this man's about to be like, "Hey, are you awake at 2 in the morning?"
Fuck.
Don't do it, bro. I'll take your fucking phone away.
Yeah, dude.
But so okay. So you say you're taking women seriously in relationships, whatever. And now,
Oh yes.
Now my question is, my next question is going to be, have you ever received a rose or roses? I'm not talking about gifts. I'm talking about a rose or roses from a woman, and I'm talking about either your mother or your sister, because about 90% of men do not receive their first rose until they are dead.
I have never in my life received any form of like flower or Valentine's Day-esque gift from a woman that I've had in like my relationship circle. You know what I mean? Like in that aspect. No.
And how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel less of a man? Makes you feel like, hey, it's what a man is supposed to do. A man doesn't receive some stuff, or you think like, hey, it would have been nice. Because you say you haven't received it, so you don't know the pleasure. So does it ever wonder in your mind, like, damn, I wonder how it felt? Because I gave her this, I gave her that. Now, would you have loved to get back that same feedback?
I don't know that I would interpret a rose as like the appropriate gift, the appropriate amorous gift that you give a man. I don't know. I'm not.
But what about a woman?
Unfortunately, I subscribe to like semi conservative, semi liberal mindset. So it's like I do think that there are appropriate gifts to give to men. Mm-hmm. Like, automatic when you say like, have I ever been gifted a rose? I'm like, no. I have been gifted ammo. And like
from a woman.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, so at first I was saying roses, but like any other gift that has been like, damn, this is nice, but not as in like, oh yeah, ammo, that's pretty cool. But something about like, you're like, damn, this really came from her heart. Like it legitimately reminded you of her you.
The things that I would contribute, and you guys can shit on it if you don't think it's true, but I've been gifted love letters. Actually, I might have been given a rose once. Mm-hmm. I'm probably a piece of shit, but I do have a really bad memory.
I agree.
But if anybody in the audience knows that I've been gifted a rose, please remind me, because again, I was a stoner in high school. I'm not afraid to shame it, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And
we're not talking about that kind of flower.
And I really think that, dude, for real. And I really think that that might have messed my memory up a little bit. But I've been gifted love letters. Little projects like crafts, like something that they took the time to build, drawings, etc. Things that they're DIYs, and anybody can do this. It just requires time, patience, and a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
So, have I ever been given a gift that, to me seems like it's meaningful and it came from their heart? Yes.
How did it make you feel though?
Very, very, very soft and unmanly and dare I even say emotional, but men don't feel emotion, so I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
sarcasm, by the way.
Now, going back to where you're saying like it's not successful for men. What about for women?
What?
Flowers, roses.
Have I ever given women flowers?
No. I'm asking. You're saying like oh, it's not really like kind of appropriate, right, to be giving that to a man. Now, what about a woman? Do you think that is a good gift to give as a woman? To give to a woman, or do you think it's just
is flowers a good gift to give to women?
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying like every day. I'm saying like every once in a while, they'll constantly like, hey, here you go, flowers. Because I feel like women love flowers, man.
As far as I can see, and I've not been very good at it, but I'm doing my best to get better at it. Women love flowers as a gift more often than not. Like in all countries of the world, giving women flowers is like an icon. It's a tradition. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where it comes from. I haven't done the research, but I know that women... Dude, if you look at social media, women will post about the fact that they wish they had someone to give them flowers every week. Mm-hmm. For no apparent reason. Just to remind them, hey, I still love you. Yeah. And I still... From the very first time that either, we kissed, held hands, made love, etc., the flowers are a reminder that the relationship is still alive and well.
I feel like a rose can also open up so much more, because, like, let's say there's been a woman, a random woman, you give a random woman Tinder. Huh.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. It's calling already. Pornography and Tinder. Great combination.
But anyways,
But yeah, like a rose can open a lot. Like say for example, there is a random woman that like those videos that she random people they give a random person a rose, and the woman she'll start crying and she'll be like, oh, thank you, like I haven't received the rose in many years, whatever. I feel like a rose is, you're right, it is an icon for a lot of things.
I actually think that the rose symbolizes a bunch of romantic things. I just did a quick Google search because I want to verify that. It says here that roses are most commonly associated with love and romance. They can also mean secrecy or confidentiality. The term sub rosa, meaning under the rose, comes from ancient times. And, with that information in mind, like, I even before I read that, I knew that roses meant, like, love and romance. Like, because you don't give your girlfriend on the first date a fucking daisy or a tulip. Usually you give her a rose. And on their wedding day, if I'm not mistaken, the rose is some sort of icon to the first time that you make love with your wife. The rose petals or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not married, so correct me if I'm wrong.
You're talking about the back seat of a car.
Never heard of this. Never heard of this. So
You've never heard that?
no input. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's some sort of.
All right, fucking the last piece of bread.
But yeah, dude. So I think it is an appropriate gift to give women, the rose. I also think that you could also give her anything that you handmade yourself, and she's bound to like it because more than the significance of the item, the amount of time, dedication, and what the item means to you, giving it to them. Like if you give someone your most valuable possession, okay, if it's like a fucking gun, like calmate, like women are not gonna
blow
value
your fucking brains out.
yeah, like, that's weird. But if you give a woman, let's say let's say you found like a gem, like a ruby or an amethyst in the wild, and it's like one of those like really like sharp and like it looks really cool, like a paperweight kind of thing. But you never let anyone touch it, you never let anyone see it, and only a select few people know about it. If you give that to your wife, the significance of that gift is I'm pretty much giving you something I identify with, something that means a lot to me, and I'm trusting you with this thing. Trust is like, I guess, where most relationships like are based upon trust, and like your willingness to like put not your life in their hands necessarily, but at the same time, like, yes, you're literally giving your entire time and life to this person. So something.
Now, how would you feel if you got a rose?
I wouldn't mind. Like I'd be like, oh, this is a gesture of
Would
love
you
and
be
affection.
fucking ooh?
Would I ooh?
Would you be ooh on the inside?
I don't think so. I don't think I would ooh, but I would definitely feel very, I guess, happy.
Because I remember when I got my first flowers, man, I was like,
Someone gave you flowers?
Yeah. A woman gave me flowers once. Well, I mean, she's given me multiple flowers before, but the first time I got them, I was like, what? Like, no lie, my first reaction was like, nah, you're fucking with me, like you're capping. And it's like, no, like they're yours. And I was like, you're fucking with me, because I've never in my previous relationship before that, and it was years that I've been with this person, I never once got flowers. And not that many gifts either. It was more of a me giving to them and almost not them giving to me. But that's a different topic for another fucking time. But yeah, man. When I got my first roses, I was like, damn, like this is actually pretty nice. This is the first time anybody has done something like this for me. And call me fucking faggot, whatever you want. But I felt something different. It was a whole new world, man. Fucking whole new world kind of fucking topic shit. And I was like, damn. Bro, like I can't let my emotions show. So when we're here, Mr. Fucking Tough Guy, I'm like, now, what about? Nah, I'm not bashing anybody for y'all fucking start getting. Hey, you're picking on me. Nah, fuck you. Now, what about relationships? Relationships that have been constant for a while. What maybe do you think love actually goes away? Do you think love really stays there, or do you believe that you just get used to that person after so many years? Or better yet, another one would be, I'm not bashing anybody, heavyweight championship. Now, heavyweight couples, are they used to each other, You know, like, do they still love each other? Do they still find each other attractive, or have you lost that
Hold on.
interest and you just settle down?
You said a key word that I don't know the definition of. Can you define a heavyweight couple?
A fat motherfucker.
Obese.
Obese.
A beast.
Obese. Like big motherfuckers that it's been a while since they're seeing their fucking ding-a-ling when they look down.
So you're saying, do like overweight / obese people still find themselves sexually attracted to each other?
Yes. Like let's say
Love and sexual attraction, I think, are two different things, right?
No, I'm talking about both. Like, do you think they really still love each other? Do you think they find themselves in them each
Considering
other
both of
sexually
those,
attractive?
Are you considering both love and sexual attraction?
Yes. Love, like actual love, you know, like how you fell in love with this person. Sexual attraction, like damn, like I crave my significant other. Or do you think they're just they've settled down? They've settled down. What do you really think goes on through their mind? Or have you been in a relationship that's been so long that you just become complacent to that person and you wonder like, damn, am I still in love with this person? Or are they just a friend now that I've gotten so used to and it's not a real relationship anymore? I say this because I know it's happened. It's happened that like, damn, you become so close to this person and you're like, fuck, is this even a relationship anymore? Like, is there even fucking sparks anymore?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I have been in a relationship like that where like the spark dies, and I'm not gonna be too specific, but it's not for the reasons you would think. It's a personal issue. It's not a problem on their side. Usually, I mean, if they're a bad person, if they exhibit negative qualities, if they're selfish, if they're greedy, if they're mean to you, if they're abusive, mentally or physically, if they hurt you in a way, shape, or form, then it's normal that you're gonna fall out of love with this person and you're not gonna want to spend time with them. You can fall victim to the whole Stockholm syndrome, where you start misinterpreting your feelings of love with feelings of need or like dependency on this person, like you know what captive prisoners feel for their captors when their captors treat them like absolute dog shit at the beginning of their captivity, but then as time progresses they start becoming more lenient with the prisoner, so they'll give him more bread, or they'll give him not just bread but they'll give him like rice as well. And so the prisoner starts interpreting this as, hey, you know what, maybe he's not as bad. Yeah, I'm captured, but and they're torturing me, but they're giving me more food now. So that's in a very not so good explanation. That's Stockholm syndrome. So a lot of relationships do suffer from this, and this is the examples of the single women with abusive baby daddies on Facebook that you see. People wonder, why the fuck is she still with him? Because she's been manipulated mentally, and there's not a lot that she can do until she comes to a point of self-realization. But I went off on a tangent, my apologies. You asked if I've ever been in a relationship where the love kind of like fell off, right?
Correct. Or just your input on relationships like that. Like, has it been off? Do you think they still find each other sexually, like I said, their sexual arousal is still there, or do you think they just are complacent with each other and they're like, hey, I've settled with this, I'm okay?
I think you pretty much said it all. I mean, people can find people sexually attractive at first, be in a relationship, things don't work out, they could break up, and the sexual attractiveness of a person doesn't exactly just disappear overnight. I mean, you have to go through something drastic to really feel disgusted by the presence of someone. Now, does that mean that you still don't find them attractive? I don't know. That's not for me to say.
It could be both physical and mental as well. I mean, if one of the partners in a relationship is out here, like, he starts losing discipline and developing bad eating habits, like, he's going to start developing other issues as well, both mental and physical as well. So I do believe that would take a huge toll on the relationship. Therefore, they will start losing that love in that relationship.
I think you're absolutely right, because not only is it, like you said, if someone doesn't take care of themselves, that's an indicator of a bigger problem. Like, if somebody lets themselves get overweight or obese, then they don't have enough discipline or a motivation to be as healthy as they can be for their partner, or they're just being complacent. So I think, when women seek out men that are in good shape, that have muscles, that have a low body fat, and I'm not saying 5% or 8%. I'm saying between 10 and 20% body fat, which is what most of us would agree to be healthy. With 10 obviously being like, wow, this guy, he really watches his diet. Women chase these people because they know that they have order in their life and they have some sort of discipline. And this is very controversial to the whole.
Or it could be a fantasy, like something that they want and they crave, because every man will be like, damn, I want a skinny waist, big booty woman. You know what I mean? Like that's something that they want, they crave it. Or like, I want a thick woman, or I just want a skinny woman, or like
The sexual preference.
yeah, the sexual preference. You know what I mean? I
got that.
Because a lot of times that people will be like, no, fuck no, I want a man with fucking washboard abs and all this kind of crazy stuff.
People are definitely attracted to all
but-
different shapes and sizes,
But
man.
then again, that is true about finding somebody with more discipline, because if that person doesn't take care of themselves, what makes you think they're gonna take care of you at the end?
And I think most people that date, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if a woman dates a absolute obese man, I don't think that she sees and thinks this guy's not going to take care of me. I think she sees a reason to believe that he will take care of me and he'll be there for me, even if he doesn't take care of himself. Like maybe he has a very, a huge bank account, and he has a big house, and he has everything figured out. The only thing about him is, yeah, he has horrible eating habits, he doesn't exercise, and consequently he's overweight and obese.
Could also be the way that this person was raised. Like maybe she or he saw that as an example of what a family figure should be, what a relationship should be. And this person, as she was growing up, she had fat parents, lazy parents, whatever parents we're trying to describe here, and that's the partner that she had set out to look like. Like that was an example that she was giving us growing up.
That is definitely a factor, man, because most people would agree that however your mom or dad acted and behaved when they were raising you, it kind of sets a precedent for what your future partners more or less should base their behavior around.
Morals and traits, man.
Yeah, the morals, the traits, the behaviors that your parents exhibit, you might actually subconsciously seek out in a future partner. And there's some psychological studies that show this to be the case. Obviously, you're going to have odd fucking studies that disagree. But I think that plays a factor too. What you saw growing up will influence the type of people you chase after in your adult life.
That is true. But I believe everything that has to say was said and has been said. I don't know about you guys.
Overall, everyone likes different things. I mean, we're no one to judge, and feel free for everyone to like whatever they like.
I concur. Everybody has to live their own life, and it's a learning experience, so make the most out of it. With that in mind, we're gonna close it, right, Eddie?
Yes, sir. To the next one. Actually, this is part 1 to part 2, so stay tuned.